Alright, YouTube, it is Mr. Mean coming at you this fine Monday afternoon. I wanted to take a moment to talk to you guys about something pretty cool that I found on my lunch break today. I got an email from Modifius telling me about, all their upcoming stuff. I'm a big Modifius fan. I like Conan. I love Mutant Chronicles, Infinity, amazing game. So I took a moment to read the email, and check it out. And I saw that they had a link to Eris. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. So, Eris, Fantasy Rules and Campaign Setting Overview. What is this? Well, this is in lieu of the chaos that happened with WotC and their OGL and Hasbro being a bunch of buttheads and trying to soak gamers for money and just be rude and who knows whatever else. And so Modifius was one of the first ones to jump on a bandwagon. Uh, Everybody else was talking about the Orc license. Well, Modifius jumped on this and created their 2D20 world builder. And this guy, this Jeremy Gripton, Gypton, Jeremy jumped on this ASAP and he put this document out. And it's two documents. One is 4 pages and it's just an overview. And he has this up on Drive Through RPG. I'll put a link up there. It's only 4 pages. It's really just a project overview. What is Eris? Why 2D20? And then what's the plan? And he does have a spells and focus out, spells and foes little PDF out, but I did not pick that up. I didn't see it, so I'm gonna go back and get that. He does what a buddy runs a Fluff and Crunch podcast where he discusses system setting and story in tabletop RPGs with a decided bias towards all things 2D20. So this guy's already got my vote because everybody knows I'm a 2D20 fan. I really like the mechanics. I like the way things work. So nice little document. This is he has it on drive through for 50 cents, but he says pay what you want, put free because it's only 4 pages. It's just I think when you put it up there, you have to put a price or something. So I don't know. But anyway, so there's nothing big. What we really want to look at is we want to look at this right here. Um, the Judas Priest 2D20 Fantasy Quick Start Rules and One-Shot Adventure. This is 43 pages of gaming goodness using the 2D20 mechanics. Now, when you say, John, I've got Conan, why not I can run Conan? Well, Conan is very world specific, setting specific. There's not a lot of high magic floating around. It's very, tailored demonic magic and, spirit magic and stuff like that. And so Conan doesn't set itself to a high fantasy genre. It's more, it's the Conan genre. It's sword and sorcery. And it does well for that. And speaking of that, if you have been trying to decide whether or not you want to dive into Conan, I wholeheartedly recommend you do because it's an excellent setting, obviously, and mechanics. But Modifius did lose the license this year, and I think they have until summer or the end of summer to sell off all the remaining stock. They can't print anymore. They've lost the license. They won't be able to sell it. So if you're on the fence and you either want the PDFs or the books, I recommend you go over to modifius.us and you pick them up now because they're going to be hard to get. And once they hit the secondary market, prices for those books are going to go out the roof. And I will say that the art in the books is fantastic. It's very well done. The material is very well done. Everything was approved by the Howard or Robert E. Howard Foundation. Conan, they had a say in everything that got produced. And I just think they did phenomenal stuff. I think their stuff looks really good. And I'm a big fan of Conan, so I really enjoy it. And I have all the stuff I want. I have all the PDFs, but I have all the core books that I felt I needed for my collection to run Conan if I ever want to run Conan. So I'm happy with that. But that being said, the Judas Priest is going to be a fantasy set. This is an adventure called the Judas Priest. I'm not going to go into the adventure part of it because, like I said, it's only 43 pages. I don't want to spoil anything. But he goes through a brief overview of the 2D20 system, and really well done, I might add. And this is their SRD. This is their system reference document. And so this is, you can use this. You want to make a sci-fi setting. You want to make a horror setting. And you want a set of mechanics. You've got a great setting in your mind. You just need a set of rules. This might be a good set of rules for you. And it's an SRD. It's free. You don't have to pay anything. And of course, go to 2D20 World Builders and, make sure you read all the information. There's a link on page 2 right here. If you click this, it will take you to their page. We'll open it up real quick. I'll put this link down in the doobly-doo. But here it is. Welcome to the 2D20 Wilderness Community Content Program. They did a Q&A with Chris Birch. Chris Birch is the owner-operator of Modifius. This guy started in his garage with the Mutant Chronicles license and then grew up from there. And now he has a warehouse where he does distribution and everything over in England. So awesome guy. Fully support his company 100%. I'm down with just about all of the or all of the Modifius stuff that he does. So everything's here that you need. I'll put a link in the notes when it comes time, when I post the video, but it's very cool. But here's an introductory. So basically this is going to go through, he gives thanks and credits. Like I always like to see that. I wish he would have included an email. Would love to reach out to this guy. I'm going to try and see if I can get a hold of him on the Crunch podcast if I can. If he's got an email, I'll go check that out after the video. Because I'd like to get him on the channel and at least chat with him, see where his head's at. Because I really like, after just a cursory glance of this and looking at the adventure, I really like where he's going with this. And I think, yeah, we've got Savage Worlds, we've got Pathfinder, we've got D&D, we've got, a plethora of other fantasy genre games, to run fantasy. But I really like the 2D20 mechanic. I kind of like those games that have little widgets and fidgets with them, and stuff. So threat and tokens and things. And Savage Worlds has that as well, with their bennies and stuff. But this is really cool. I like I said, I'm a fan of the 2D20 mechanic. I like the way they do it. And so for them to release this SRD to the public for free, there's a couple guidelines you have to follow, but I don't think it's anything, horrendous and deal breaking. But he goes through and he, it gives you an introduction, what you're going to need to play. Tokens, beads, access to 80s metal music, which you should play as you gather your crew for this adventure. Obviously, he's probably around my age, so I'm excited to see that. And then just examples of everything. It's very, very well written. Challenge dice, he explains everything very cohesively, attributes and skills, what they do. I mean, he took the basic formatting of Conan. He changed the colors, to protect the innocent, so to speak. But you can see the Conan formatting here. So he just followed a formula that I think is tried and true and looks good. And it's really well done. And tons of examples. Every little section has an example. So if you're new to 2D20 and you don't want to buy a $40, $50 Modifius book, and I can't blame you, although I think you should because they're awesome. But if you don't want to drop that much money, you can drop $5 and you can get the basics. And I do believe you can download the 2D20 SRD for free. Don't quote me on that. I don't know. I haven't looked that far into it. But worst case scenario, $5, boom. You've got the basic 2D20 mechanics, and you can see if it's something that you like or not. I mean, and it's $5. Skip that latte tomorrow and go buy this. Test difficulties, simple, D0, D1, D2, D3, D4, up to epic D5. That's how many successes you need on D20s. And there's other mechanics. I'm not going to go into them, but he gives you an example and a whole bunch of information here. You need the vacuum cleaner. My son needs the vacuum cleaner. No, you don't need the vacuum. You made it. Well, go do it. Too late. He's already doing it. My wife said he didn't want to disturb you. I'm like, too late. He's already doing it. That's fine. It's not going to hurt anything if he runs. You may hear vacuum cleaner guys. I apologize, but that is, this is a professional video, professional YouTube channel. Nothing but the best for my viewers. So assistance, momentum. Momentum is a key thing in the 2D20 game system. Threat is what the GM uses to enact powers. I don't want to get too deep into it because I'll go off on a tangent. I love the 2D20 system. Fortune spends, that's the players, that's their bennies, if you're familiar with Savage World, or their fate points, if you're Warhammer and things like that. So action types, range, all kinds of good information. Again, more examples, keep the initiative, zones, movement, and range. There's no, 10 feet, 15 feet, far range is 100. It's zones. You're either, close combat, medium, far, or extreme. That's it. Hindrances in combat, and again, how to make a melee ranged attack, melee and or ranged attacks, examples, spell attacks with examples, healing, and how to, I mean, most of the Modifius games don't have, well, there is no traditional fantasy setting. So this is covering a niche that Modiphius doesn't have, and I think it's awesome. His plan is to put out a full-fledged book this summer 2023, or maybe a little bit later. Either way, I think it's solid, and I'm really looking forward to whatever he puts out. He's got the spell primer and the foes book, weapon effects. Modiphius uses weapon effects on it. Some weapons have knockdown, intense, or vicious. Piercing, where they ignore armor. Vicious inflicts additional damage, and the way Modiphius does it in the 2d20 is when you get extra damage, you get an extra die, and typically it's a 2, 3, and a 6 will do damage. A 4 and a 5 do nothing, but some games are variants of that, but that's for the most part. And a 1, so 1 and a 2 do damage, 3, 4 do nothing, 5 and 6 may have options. It just depends on the mechanics. But tons of examples, like I said, and it's just, and then he gives a little blurb, a little piece of fiction. Okay, go outside and play with your balloons. Daddy's making a video. Sorry, guys. Notes on the full rules and what's coming. He answers a bunch of questions. The basic questions: will be art and maps in the full rules? Yes, of course there will be. When will the full rules be available? Hopefully by summer of 23. There's a lot done beyond this quick start in both writing and rules conceptualization, and yet it's going to take time to write it, have it reviewed, test it more, revise it, and the like. So he's got some work ahead of him, and of course another shout out to the 80s metal music. So this guy's winning it for me. And then there's the starting on page, what page is this? Page 22. So about halfway through it, we get the adventure and the overview. And I'm not going to spoil that because, like I said, for $5, you get a full game here. You get enough to actually play this game and run this adventure with just this 43-page PDF. I did print it out at work because I don't like reading on the screen. So I'm going to read that at my leisure, probably download it onto my iPad as well. But I'm very happy to have picked this up. So Jeremy, if you see this, I'm hopefully going to be able to I'm going to put it up as a review on drive-through, but for $5, guys, this is totally worth it. Again, this is the Modiphius 2D20 SRD. This is the first thing that I'm aware of that's been put out using the SRD for 2D20. So if you're curious, if you've never played Conan or Mutant Chronicles or John Carter of Mars, give this for $5, give it a pick. And leave some feedback for the guy. Let him know what he's doing right. Let him know what you think he's doing wrong. Don't be a dick. That's all I ask. This guy's, striving to make something cool. So let's support him as best we can. I'm going to post a link to this in the mini armies, and of course it'll go on my Facebook and my socials. I hope you guys enjoyed this. As always, there will be links down in the doobly-doo for Drive-Thru RPG. Use my affiliate link. It doesn't cost you any more, and it helps the channel. If you can afford $5 a month, I have a Patreon this month. At the end of the month, I'm going to be raffling off this spell deck, Arcane Spell Codex from, you can see it's got my Pathfinder cards in there. I'm going to clean it up. I just bought it. I did a review on it. It's not my cup of tea. I use Path Builder 2e on my iPad in a web browser, so I don't really have a use for this, but I put cards in there and everything to show when I did my review. It's really nice. It's kind of like this vinyl plush. It's a weird feeling. I don't know. It's got a little magnet and it's got a marker in it and everything comes with a marker. So I'm going to raffle this off to my Patreons and I'll send it to them for free. So $5 a month, you get cool shit. So I might even throw a couple other small little things in there as well when I do the raffle. Discord, we got a thriving Discord community. Pop on in there, say hi if you like to talk about RPGs, tabletop games. Pop in, say hi. I've got over 400 and something videos in the archive there. Plenty to keep you, droning on in the background while you paint miniatures or you prep your adventure or whatever. But the Discord's the big thing. Please hop on and join. We've got an awesome community. A lot of small indie press publishers are in there, and we chat and they talk and they help with game design. Please go out in the living room. I'm talking right now. We're going out. We're on the Discords chatting all the time about tabletop RPGs. The Patreon really helps support the channel. All the money I make from Patreon goes back into the channel. So, and it's $5 a month. And like I said, every quarter, roughly sometimes more. I'll send out stickers. I send out some RPG stuff related. I do a raffle and I send it to you. If you're overseas, I have a couple of my Patreons are overseas. I'll just do a gift card to Drive Through RPG for like 20 bucks. So anyway, thank you so much for watching. Hit like and subscribe as always. Peace and hair grease. And remember, Mr. Mean says be nice. Thanks a lot, guys. Take care.